Dante Moore was always destined to be a Duck. It just took him a year at UCLA, a benching, and a short trip in the transfer portal to realize the place he initially committed to out of high school was always his home away from home. Let's talk about Dante Moore's commitment to Oregon and what this means for Dan Lanning and the Ducks in a new era of Big Ten football. If you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So this is the type of content you enjoy, plus coaching searches, the transfer portal, national championship news, and a bunch of other nonsense that we love about this crazy sport. Make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, Oregon Duck fans, and college football aficionados everywhere about this channel, because we're on the race. And we are so dang close to making my Christmas dreams come true of 1,000 subscribers. So continue to tell everybody about this channel. After that, we're aiming for 5,000, then 10,000, then ultimately 100,000. And we're going to get there. Continue to follow me on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson. I call it Twitter. You can call it X. Elon can call it whatever he wants. That way, the conversation of college football never has to stop flowing. So Dante Moore initially committed to Oregon out of high school. This seemed like a pipeline destination. Everybody figured that the number one quarterback in the portal was going to end up at UG or in the recruiting cycle. And then you hear that Kenny Dillingham is going to Arizona State. And after that, you hear that Bo Nix is coming back for another season. And Moore wanted more reps. He wanted to see the field pretty significantly early in his tenure. So he goes and signs with UCLA. And ultimately, him and Chip Kelly don't see eye to eye on everything, which leads to a benching. There were some highs, there were some lows, there were some positives, there were some negatives. But ultimately, he was always going to land at a 7-5 roster and probably back in the transfer portal. The biggest thing that you learn by seeing Dante Moore commit to Oregon is the maturation of a player understanding I have to do what's best for my career. Because Moore could have gone anywhere in the country. There were countless schools, dozens out there that absolutely would have given him QB1 status before he ever took a snap in spring practice. Now, he's going to truly learn what it means to play quarterback and build a repertoire and an understanding of an offensive identity without having to see the field. Bearing a setback or an injury, Dillion Gabriel, who also committed to Oregon, will start every game in 2024. And that's a good thing for a guy like Dante Moore because he's going to learn all the ins and outs and nuances about what makes a quarterback successful at the collegiate level. You're not learning much more from a guy who's going to potentially finish with 60-plus starts underneath his belt at the collegiate level. So automatically, huge boost there when it comes to understanding the concepts of what it means to play quarterback. The other thing is that you're learning from a guy who probably fits Will Stein's offense to a T. What do we know about Will Stein's offense? I'm so glad you asked, ladies and gentlemen. Intermediate part of the field, accuracy, timely delivery. You have to be pinpoint perfect at all three phases if you want to last for the Oregon Ducks. And that was the strength for a guy like Bo Nix. It was partially why you saw records nearly be shattered this year and why you also saw Nix make his way to New York City for the Heisman Trophy presentation. Because he fit the style of offense and what catered to what Stein was looking for. And Dillion Gabriel does that to a T. In fact, if you were to go ahead and put these two against each other, you would probably say, okay, one's a little taller and right-handed and the other one's a bit shorter and left-handed. Besides that, they're the same quarterback. They play the same style. And for Moore, who emulates a lot of similar skill sets of a guy like Bo Nix, but maybe a bit more upside with his rushing tactics, maybe a bit more mobile when it comes to his utilization in the open field. All of that, plus learning for a year, does wonders for the future of what you're looking for in Oregon. And it also does wonders for his maturation when it comes to selling himself to future NFL programs. Good fit, good style of offense to learn from, very sound when it comes to what this will entail for Moore if he's able to continue to develop the way we thought we were going to see at UCLA. But here's where it gets really big. For Oregon, this now sets the tone for the foreseeable future in the Big Ten. Yeah, they bring in an experienced quarterback that's going to be able to lead the offense in 2024 against potent, countless, tyrant rosters that are sound defensively. But then you go into 2025, and now you get Dante Moore, who will have a year underneath his belt of knowing what Will Stein wants, knowing what Dan Lanning wants, and then he also gets to now go out there and be just the same version of what you have with Dillion Gabriel. They're expecting 10 wins next year in the Big Ten. They're expecting 11 wins. They're expecting a college football playoff appearance. That doesn't change because Bo Nix is saying, see you later, Eugene. No, that still is the ultimate end goal. And if you get a guy like Dillion Gabriel to teach that down to the level for a guy like Dante Moore, once again, same product, same formula, works to a T. And the biggest part is Now you have proof of concept. Proof of concept is really important when it comes to college football because of all we have for most of the time is taking the word of someone else. Ole Miss right now has crushed the transfer portal. They have been exceptional in bringing in premier talent offensively and defensively. Why? Proof of concept. They know that more players walk out of Oxford ready for the NFL and more battle tested, so you see players commit there. Florida State. Florida State right now could land whoever the hell they want, and you would immediately expect them to be at least a household name by the season's end because we've seen it now back-to-back years. Look at what was happening when they brought in Jared Verse. Now we're talking about a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. Look about what's happening with Keon Coleman. Day 2 selection, now becoming a day 1 solidified starter. Same thing with guys like Ventrell Cypress and Jaheim Bell. Once you have that identity and the formula that says this works, the model is going to allow more transfers to see that and say, I want to be a part of that culture. I want to be a part of that type of mentality. And then afterwards, everything else becomes easy on the recruiting trail. More kids see this production. More kids see kids that came from their high school, find success at this location. They know it's going to be fine. So why else go there? This is a good move for Oregon, and this is a great move for Dan Lanning because he's already building his roster thinking 3 years in advance. You got Dante Moore on campus for at least 2 years. Unless he literally wins the Heisman, the national championship, and takes your team to an undefeated season as a junior, I don't think you're going to see him leave anytime soon. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to stick around, if not longer than 2 years. So you're already planning for Dillion Gabriel to set the tone year 1 in the Big Ten. And then you get Dante Moore to carry the torch, light the flame, and extinguish all the haters' nonsense from the outside looking in, saying, we're not good enough to play Big Ten bully football. They've shown it in the transfer portal when it comes to the offensive line. They've showed it when it comes to the development of players on the defensive side of the football. Top 25 defense this past year. There was only one better defense in the Pac-12 on a consistent basis, and it was UCLA, who just lost Anson Lynn to USC, but that's a sensitive subject. We'll get to that on another date. You see the value of what they're able to bring. This is a Frankenstein-type monster when it comes to Oregon. They're built from every conference out there with skilled players from the Pac-12, linemen built from the Big Ten, defensive talent, and running backs from the SEC. And they're on a warpath to send a message to everyone in their way. We mean business. And they mean business for the long term, not just a one-and-done type season where everyone is going to be sitting on pins and needles wondering, is this where Oregon finalizes their stats? My opinion, Oregon struck big by landing Dillion Gabriel, but they hit a grand slam for their foreseeable future by landing Dante Moore. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.